Busy today, but let me flip over. So, the Caters have decided that they're going to continue vet bashing me, most likely because of our streams in the last couple days, and you know how they get frustrated when they take an L. But let me go ahead and do this really quick. So I showed 2 medals on my DD214, among others. And, of course, the Caters, a couple of them, are trying to say that they're trying to basically lie about those medals. They're either faking screenshots or God knows. But if you go to Wikipedia, it says this. The Global War on Terrorism Service Medal is a military award of the United States Armed Forces, which was created through executive order by President Bush. It recognizes those military service members who have supported operations to counter terrorism in the War on Terror from 11 September 2001 to a date yet to be determined. And it goes into, previously awarded for the broadly defined awarding criterion of support duty, the GD is no longer a quasi-automatically awarded medal to the National Defense Service Medal, whereas the GWOT is awarded after 30 days of post-training after service. Now, yes, it is awarded after your training if you signed up, like I said, during a operation knowing you were going to be deployed. Right? You follow me? And if you didn't deploy, you don't get them, just like I said. So, well, at least that's what I was told, but it also seems to back that up with what it says on Wikipedia. It's all I can go by. So let's jump over to the National Defense Service Medal. It's awarded, established by President Dwight D. Eisenhower, and it's awarded to every member of the armed forces who has served during any one of 4 specific periods of armed conflict or national emergency. And so, yes, you can get the National Defense Service Medal for other reasons than what I got it. You can get the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal for other reasons than... Well, no, you can't get that one for other reasons. See, you have to look at the combination of the medals. See, when I posted on my DD214 thread, and when I said what I said about those 2 medals being given together among the other medals that I have, what it shows isn't what any singular medal is. So if I get the if I get the Global Defense Medal, right, which Eisenhower gave for 4 specific periods, including the war on Iraq, and then that, instead of me having like the Vietnam Medal, which I don't have, or any of the other medals that would have gone with this medal, if you see the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal next to it, it means exactly what that medal says. One more time, that medal says, you can get, I'm reading this from Wikipedia. The first result. The Global War on Terrorism Service Medal is... Oh, hold on, wrong one. No, that's the right one. By Bush, it recognizes military service members who supported operations to counter terrorism in the War on Terror from 11 September 01 to a date yet to be determined. I was in the 3rd Iraq wave. Previously awarded for the broadly defined award criterion of support duty, it isn't now, and it's awarded to service members only serving in the area of effect for approved campaigns related to the Global War on Terrorism. So what I wrote on my DD214 thread is absolutely true. The reason I wrote, you can check me on that medal, doesn't mean that you go and pour through everything that's written about that medal until you find a website that doesn't correctly write what that medal is given for. I mean, when you read the verbatim of how it was written, you see that it was written in a way that sounds like someone is talking from memory. They're not being specific at all. Obviously, whoever created that website just typed that in either from memory or after they scanned something, and they didn't write what that medal is correctly for. But of course, certain cater accounts are out there creating sock accounts And I'd like to actually tell you what I've discovered about that sock account. See, the thing about these sock accounts is that you can look at them and you can figure out who they are based on what they post sometimes. So let me give you an example. This sock account posted Unirock TV space lies and a picture of me driving a vehicle from a live stream I did a long time ago. So what that shows is this person is basically trying to do it like a little doxing thing, right? Post a picture of me driving and then lies. And then they don't write anything other than that. And then they show where they've gone in and highlighted from a website instead of highlighting any of the other websites out there that say what I just read, which they all do. And they link to the source that they got it from, or going by the source they got it from, or any of those things. They decide to grab a website that was typed by somebody. So I don't even know if that website really says that, or if it's just a fake image. Probably a fake image, but who knows. And they decide to highlight in different colors different things there. Now, what's funny is if you go to the follower, like who that person follows, you notice some funny stuff. There are a couple people following it, Menace and Kay Baxter, and you can tell why, because that person was in their replies basically agreeing with them on some stuff they posted about the lobster. So that's your first clue to who it is, right? They are liking and commenting on stuff like that. Then if you look at who they've followed, they have followed Menace very, very early on. Like within one or two of the people who they followed when they created the account, they decided to follow Menace amongst a bunch of other people. So they're not slick, you see. Steve, you're not slick, Steve. You and LB, you're not slick. You know, it's funny because you guys, there's only like 2 people that have in the community ever highlighted something in the way that that account highlights. And on top of that, there's only, based on who the person's following and then the replies that they've given to people, you know, it's pretty easy to determine that it's either one of like 5 people, right? And I get it, I pissed you guys off, you're really upset, you're really mad. And of course, just like you've always done, instead of you guys admitting where you're wrong, especially over something this crazy, or any of the other things that have happened recently, you decide you're going to go and attempt to use a sock account, spam it out, bot it out. And it's funny because we also know something. We also know this Twitter account is botted like a motherfucker. And we also know of a video that the lobsters went on that was botted like a motherfucker. Then we also know of another person out there who has botted their sub count, Steve McRae. And we also know, I could just go on and go on and go on. So basically, my last little message here is, lobsters, we get it. You guys think you're slick. You guys think that if you go in and create these sock accounts and you go around and, you know, retweet all this stuff, tag all this stuff, and then go in and use the account to vet bash, you're gonna, you know, fool people and convince them. You're going to fool them into vet bashing. You're gonna fool them. See, this is the thing. This is what always defeated you, is that you always went too far. And it really does show. That is another clue to who is posting this stuff, because you guys, you go too far all the time. And when you do, you act surprised when you're on a stock account doing this and people realize, oh, we know who this is. Because out of any of the things I use to describe this account, every one of those things points to like a couple of 4 people. Who they followed initially does. How they decide to highlight does. And every one of the other things I said does. So just to update everybody, nice lie, nice vet bashing. We won't forget that that's what you do. You see, what this person did also was go through a website, like I said, that was obviously written by someone, one that did not link to any sources or actual evidence, if they didn't fake screenshots, trying to claim that I didn't have an expeditionary medal or something. And because I didn't have an expeditionary medal, I was lying about being deployed and medevaced. So let me help you out. See, those medals have requirements. So if you would have sourced yourself and actually looked to see what those requirements were for those medals and read them, you would have seen not only do they have restrictions on the amount of time someone has to be doing certain things or being, deployed in a certain way to get them, which I'm sure, again, I don't know because I haven't looked at the requirements and other things for those medals, but I'm sure the reason that I don't have that medal is because I was medevaced. So, like it says on my DD-214, I have service in Iraq. So what you should have also done is read what that means on a DD-214, because you don't, again, you didn't source anything. You just kind of looked at stuff and created a conspiracy theory. We get it. You guys do that all the time. You're actually hardcore conspiracy theorists. But the point is, no, I shouldn't have the medals you claim that I should have because I was injured and I was medevaced. So I didn't qualify for certain other medals. Just like the last idiot who vet bashed me and had to delete those things from their community tab, the last commie idiot. Literally, you guys think researching is basically find something written on the internet somewhere, one place, and then connect it to something written on the internet somewhere, one place, or take what you think is there and run with it, and connect the dots in your head, and then come up with a conspiracy. I just want to make sure, the other thing I forgot to do, other than make or give a response to the fact that you claim I should have other medals that no, I shouldn't have. I'm not like your friends. I don't want medals that I don't qualify for. I only want and have the ones that I do and did qualify for. And those medals, like I said, prove that I'm telling the truth about what happened to me, along with my other post, picture from my DD-214. But you're going to, in your head, because you're a conspiracy theorist, you're going to come up with some out to say that you're not a vet bashing commie. And I want to make sure that you know factually that you are a vet bashing commie, you see. When the reason that LB, Steve McRae, the Uber Omega Dingbat who posted those things on their community tab, I don't know her name, and the others who have vet bashed me, you know who they are. The reason they are vet bashers is because, again, you did all of this and said all of this to someone who did go, who did tell the truth, who was injured in the line of duty and medevaced. And you went and attacked them and tried to claim that they were lying about it because you didn't actually look at the evidence I posted and spend more than 10 seconds going in and typing things on the internet and reading things. That's vet bashing. It's because you didn't take the time to actually read the sources and make sure that you fact checked yourself. The choice you made not to make sure that you are correct is why you're a vet basher. So what I'm trying to say is I'm a nice person. If somebody, like, let's say, misread something, if somebody was lied to and they ended up saying something like, oh my God, he's a lying person, fake being this. You know, I can forgive or understand when someone's old or when someone has an excusable episode of vet bashing to some extent. I can understand it if it fits certain criteria. But what Steve McRae, LB, Dingbat, Omega Dingbat, community tab poster, and the other vet bashers have done is not only vet bash to such a high, irresponsible, and purposeful degree that they are vet bashers regardless of what they do. Even if you come back and apologize, which none of you will, you can't even apologize for supporting a fucking rapist. But even if you did come back and apologize to me, you'd still be a vet basher because of how flippantly and disgustingly you decided to do this. Again, I wouldn't classify everybody that way, right? There's been other people that because of posts that these people have posted, they have said disgusting things that aren't true, and I don't hold it against them, do I? I don't. I could hold it against several other people. I can think off the top of my head right now who I've always not held it against due to them shutting up after they realized they were lied to by these commies, these vet bashing commies. Also, I could have looked at some of the people that were reacting to LB's live stream and held it against them, but I didn't. I didn't because I knew that they were saying something based on the fact that they thought LB was telling the truth, not lying. So they were fooled. Though the people that post this stuff, not only does it give us a lot of information, not only does it tell us who's mad, tells us who's running sock accounts, them running those sock accounts tells us that the people who come to us and give us information from their Discord servers and their little private chats. Again, I know you guys think that I'm bullshitting when I say that. The thing is, though, even some of your closest friends aren't really your friends. And I've warned you about this for a while. They turned on you guys a long time ago. They said, you know what? I can't take vet. There were certain things that crossed a line. It might have been attacking a sick kid, might have been vet bashing, might have been doxing, might have been any of the things you guys have done. At some point, you crossed a line. They were on an anonymous account chilling with you, and they said to themselves, I'm going to keep hanging out, and I'm going to keep a peek on what's going on to see if maybe I'm wrong, maybe they aren't this way. And all they ended up discovering was that you really are this way. You guys do meet up in little groups and sit and talk about how I am a veteran and how I'm telling the truth. And yes, I'm talking about LB and Steb and all of the ones that have ran with the vet bashing narrative. I know that you meet up and talk about this stuff with a few of your close people. I know you admit that I was in the military and admit that I'm telling the truth. And I know that you also admit that all to each other, you find ways to try to post falsities and vet bash together so that you can hopefully fool people that watch you into believing your narratives. It's just that your narratives now are like a lot of the people that you're doing this to have lost people who are in the service, or they have people that were just permanently, their lives were completely destroyed after they got out due to injuries or whatever. So because they love those people and they're saddened over what happened, proud but saddened, they really aren't able to be caught up and led in the way you guys think they are. And it's why things have been backfiring with you guys ever since you started to do these extreme things. But I just want you to know, the sock accounts, the way the sock accounts post, the way you guys do your little quasi-anonymous or what you think is anonymous bullshit, literally backs up and confirms the things that your defectors, even the current ones who are pretending not to defect, report to us. And so next time you guys are meeting and you're thinking about doing this, maybe you should consider, the ones of you who actually have an audience, who are getting caught up in this narrative with these people, maybe LB, maybe you should consider the fact that next time you're meeting with all these people and coming up with ways to lie about me being a liar on this, or coming up with ways to try to lie to convince your audience of the vet bashing, maybe LB will dip and say, you know what, I'm not going to damage my own following, my own brand by participating. Because LB, we know you didn't come up with all that shit on your own, and we know you didn't believe it. So just making sure I complete the response here. And because what we've done, if you guys haven't noticed, is each of the people out there who have vet bashed me, we have given them a few days to get all of their vet bashing out of their system. We've let them get really confident, and we've let them completely go to the maximum of their vet bashing disgustingness. And then we come in and debunk them easily, very easily, because and again, the reason that I live streamed myself going to the VA, discussing what I was allowed to show and what I couldn't show, what they suggested I show and what I don't. I also discussed what I needed to show to make sure that I had proved my side. So that, I did that. I live streamed myself doing that the first time to be nice, but to also make sure that anyone who tries to vet bash me in the future, if they could research, if they could think, if they had functioning brain cells, would know that they probably shouldn't if they're not wanting to damage their brand and damage their social media. Because again, let me go through this really quick one more time before I jump, because I'm extremely busy with family stuff today and a couple little Christmas things I got to do. And then I've got a lot of work to do to get ready for a stream tonight and hopefully get a video up. So the reason why we know who the anonymous sock account is that did this is because of who they followed, because their willingness to vet bash on this subject, the hatred they have for the certain people in the order they followed, and the way that they highlighted is extremely, extremely specific. And I've looked into the community and found there's only a couple of other people who have ever highlighted something in that very specific way. You like to click the different colors of the highlighter, and you like to swoop back and forth with your finger while you're highlighting when you're doing a sentence. Then you like to click on the next color and swoop diddy doop diddy, and then the next color and swoop diddy doop diddy. So I'm just telling you, Steb, LB, and the rest of your little tiny vet bashing commie group, we know who you are. You're not slick.